right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to my channel, GBoo2786. We are live. We are live. I am coming at you with five. This is another episode of Gavin Richard Presents here on YouTube, GBoo2786. Whoever you are, wherever you are, I hope that you are blessed, that you are having a wonderful Monday evening or Tuesday morning if you're past the prime meridian, international dateline as we call it. Hope you guys are doing good. Yeah, it's getting late. Not feeling that good. No, it's not the coronavirus, just to let y'all know. I know that shit's been going on all through the media now. People are panicked. I saw videos of people outside the schools. The line was wrapped around the building, going out as far as the parking lot, literally. People are stocking up on water, on food supplies, and everything. And I don't know if we're at that point yet, because I think the media does a terrible job in the way that they report things. Some things can be prevented. Remember, some viruses always remember to wash your hands. Keep a bottle of sanitizer on you with alcohol in it at all times. Avoid touching your face, and you probably be good. This might, at least if they can't, this will definitely stop it from spreading if it's truly that. But who knows? People think that that virus was created, man-made, and it's possible. I don't put anything past our wicked society, things that people do in our government. We have terrible government that has failed the American people. Has failed this country. We have politicians who have no guts, which is why. And another reason too is that we, especially I notice with these elections coming up, we don't ever hold our elected officials accountable. So it's also on us. We expect them to do for us once we put them in office, but once they get in office, they have no duty to defend you or represent your interests. So what do we do to hold them accountable? We're giving Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders, our rights to vote, or our vote, and these men were responsible for the 1994 crimes bill that was signed by Bill Clinton, that broke up hundreds of families, black families. Let's not forget also, Joe Biden was a staunch he was a staunch segregationist. He supported not keeping schools segregated, according to articles that I've read, talking about racial jungles if you integrate these schools. He said that. So I'm not so keen, just because I don't want to see a Donald Trump presidency. I'm not so keen in voting openly for Joe Biden. And if they are not going to address specifically the needs of the black community, if they're not going to address reparations, if they will not address police brutality, if they will not address economic development in inner cities, I'm not interested in their vote. Now, some people will say, well, and I've done videos about this before, well, you're disrespecting our ancestors if you don't vote. Martin Luther King died for the right to vote. Like I've said before, Dr. King and Medgar Evers, Malcolm X, all the civil rights activists, and our ancestors before that, they fought for the right for black Americans to be free, to be independent. They fought for blacks to have their own voice. They did not fight, and yes, that included fighting for our constitutional rights, Thurgood Marshall, the right to vote, so forth. But the right to vote doesn't mean the right to vote willy-nilly just for one particular party. The right to vote means that I also have the right to choose not to vote if I do not like what is on the ballot, if I don't like this person, or if I go and vote, I'll cast an empty ballot. Maybe there may be a third party on there, but then you'll say, well, Trump's going to get back in office. So you're just basically proving my point. You don't want freedom. You don't want your people to be independent. You want a job, basically. And that's why they get these Negroes on MSNBC and TV One and so forth, who do not represent our voice in our community, especially the young people. They are out of touch. And you know how I feel uh, about the Democratic Party, and especially their minions that come out that every year they want to do the song and dance. You know, you had Peter Liang and uh, a few others who were coming out pandering to the black vote, hanging with the choir and so forth, singing and dancing. That's not what we need. And I know they do that all the time every year, but we need results. We need action. We need money. Kamala Harris, who criticized Joe Biden in the election, in the primary, in the debates last year, well, she's endorsing Biden. So is Cory Booker. And remember, she lambasted Biden over the desegregation policies that he was against, with forced busing, and yet she goes and endorses the man. Uh, which shows you that their loyalties are not to the community, their loyalties are to the Democratic Party, and that's the problem. So when you get Negroes like Roland Martin and Joy Reid who want to put the finger in black American societies, especially in young black men, telling them about how you need to fight for the right to, how our ancestors fought for our right to vote. Our ancestors fought for a lot of rights, not just the right to vote. They fought for us to be Americans. They fought for us to be free, to have true free will, because even back in the day, when it came to voting, when it came to having rights, certain rights, blacks were not allowed even to walk the sidewalks when whites would come down the sidewalk. They couldn't even do that. They couldn't even here in New Orleans when we celebrate Mardi Gras, we couldn't wear a mask. Just things that we couldn't do. So the right to vote was just one aspect of the things that our ancestors fought for. They also fought for the right for us to defend ourselves on weapons. That's why you had the Deacons for Defense. Look up the book Negroes with Guns, and you'll learn more about them. Or you can even just look on YouTube. There's a Showtime movie about the Deacons for Defense. But anyway, guys, I'm getting off subject, which I don't like doing. I'm gonna try to keep this video under 20 minutes to see who's in here. I've got 3 people right now. I think we got more, and I'm gonna make this announcement, guys. Pretty soon, I'm gonna be moving away. I think from YouTube just because I don't like the sneaky things that they've done as far as the analytics, altering people's viewership, as well as taking away monetization of certain channels. If you haven't heard our sister Nicole from Nicole's View. She has moved on from YouTube and is on, I believe it's Anchor now, doing a podcast. So that's where you can hear her audio, her reviews. Shout out to her. Always shout her out because she's my people's, good sister. I also plan to, so I'm looking at doing a podcast myself, and I probably would just do a video that I would share with you all. Just to let you know to go there. Or you can also go to the Patreon account, which I'm going to be setting up just because I think YouTube is on some BS with stuff, and they have been for a while. Doesn't mean I'm going to stop coming on YouTube, but I think I need to put more of my premium videos in a different platform. So I hope you guys will be able to support once I do that. I'm actually getting some equipment together the next few weeks so we can make that possible. So this is a video that I have been wanting to do for a little while, ever since I saw a few weeks ago. And I know I'm late, but I've been dealing with some personal issues I won't share. But those of you already know about Gayle King and Oprah Winfrey, how I feel about them, how I feel they attack black men. And of course, recently, the latest victim of Gayle King was none other than our late brother, Kobe Bryant. Now, you already know what was said, what she did, and how Snoop Dogg, who was a friend of Kobe Bryant, reacted. I've talked about that. Countless others have posted on their platforms their videos about Kobe Bryant and Snoop Dogg's comments. And of course, what was interesting was the backlash that was directed at Snoop Dogg from your prominent black, well, I shouldn't even say black, but Negroes, like Susan Rice, who's Obama's national security advisor, the woman that was responsible single-handedly, along with Hillary Clinton, for the invasion of Libya, and how she told Snoop to back the fuck off. You got an army coming to you. You had, of course, someone like Moise Lamont Hill, and you had Michael Eric Dyson, who came out and basically, if you listen to his video like I did, it almost sounded like he was saying Kobe was guilty. Now, he didn't say that directly, but the fact that he was using his 10 minutes of fame to go at Snoop Dogg and others for the way that they talked about Gayle King without addressing the first wrong, which is what Gayle King did to Kobe by trying to defame someone that just died. And let's keep in mind also, you have had white, not even commentators, but whites who, let's just say, who have money like the Abigail Disneys and the Evan Rachel Wood, who made derogatory comments about Kobe Bryant. That comedian Ari Shaffer, whoever he is, who made that comment about how he was glad Kobe died because he's a rapist. They were all saying this, and you did not see from Michael Eric Dyson to Susan Rice comment and call those people out. You did not see Gayle King call that out. And earlier today, Gayle King, of course, she was interviewed by her friend Oprah, and they're trying to get back into the good graces of the public. I think Oprah and Gayle have some contest that's going on, and they've been dragged on it from what I've heard from Brother Willie D and from Boyce Watkins. They've been dragging them through for all day today about that. But Gayle King, again, tried to make herself out the victim. And this brings me to the Red Table Talk. Now, I do not give attention to gossip TV, particularly anything dealing with, I'm just going to say it, all female shows like Talk and The View and The Real. Of course, you got Lonnie Love Lust, Lonnie Love Pies. I know Lonnie from Facebook, but I was upset with what Lonnie Love said, because I thought what she talked about how black men are unfaithful, and the generalization that she was making, I thought it was problematic. Basically saying black men are not good husbands, and that ain't going to lead to black men are not good fathers, so we deserve what we're getting. A lot of people say, well, Gavin, you're reaching. Well, no, I'm not reaching, because that's what they actually think of black men in this country. And we see that today with how even they treated the former president, Barack Obama, who I've been very critical of myself. But, of course, Barack Obama, even as a black man who supposedly is sitting in the most powerful position in America government, he could not say or do anything for the black community. And he did not speak up for us. That's a fact. But it was problematic. And Jada Pinkett Smith's comments, what she did on Red Table Talk with her mother, who, even in her 60s, her mama looks like she's in her 40s. She's fine. I'm not going to lie about that. She's a good-looking woman. The daughter, Willow, they had Snoop Dogg on. And the way they tried to make, and they started off, and I watched the Red Table Talk. It was 30 minutes long. They said they invited Gayle. Gayle had an open invitation to come and sit. Gayle didn't come. Snoop Dogg came. And Jada started it all, basically saying, well, we're not here to take sides about who's right, who's wrong. We're having a conversation. And I felt that when Snoop Dogg talked to Gayle that way, you were talking to me. You were talking to my mother. You were talking to Will. And rightfully so, people clapped back at Jada for basically caving for Gayle King and going overboard with something that deep down, she knew had nothing to do with it. Can we keep it 100? Nothing that Snoop Dogg said And you may not like the language that he gave to as describing Gayle King. And yeah, there may have been a different way that Snoop Dogg could have handled the situation. But let's be real honest about this. Snoop Dogg has made his living calling women bitches and hoes. Let's be real. Snoop Dogg has been around since '93. I remember when Doggy Style dropped as a kid. I remember the album cover where it had it had a caricature of Snoop Dogg as a dog uh, going into a dog house with a female dog's skirt up or her tail up, and he's looking at it funny. Like he's going, well, not even funny, like horny, horny looking. So Snoop Dogg has always said this. Jada Pinkett Smith has hung out with Tupac Shakur, who was called women bitches and hoes in his album. He had a song called "Hit 'Em Up," which basically talked about how he banged Biggie Small's wife. So Jada, don't be fake with this. Like you just the first time you heard a man call another woman a bitch. And Snoop Dogg basically was humbled. I looked at it, it looked like he, from the looks of it, even from looking at his apology, I think that he was forced to apologize for that. I don't think that it was initially it was genuine, because remember he came out with a second video clarifying his comments, and then finally he released another video where he's apologizing to his mother. And I was going back and forth with Chuck D, and of course Chuck D has his issues. If you look, and of course Chuck is going through this thing where he's fired Flavor Flav for claiming for insubordination, and it's this thing about not performing with Bernie Sanders that Flav has stated is the reason why he was fired. And Chuck D, and he was cool with me when we talked, though we went back and forth. The issue was never about, and should not have been about what Snoop said. The issue should have been about, we can talk about misogyny, but we also should talk about the disrespect of black men. You see, they always jump to how black women are treated and how you do this and that. And yet these same women, I've never heard Jada Pinkett, except for the time her husband wasn't nominated for an Oscar, that she spoke directly against racism and white supremacy. Have you ever heard her say that? Those in the chat room that are listening, have you ever heard Jada Pinkett Smith, not just on the Red Table Talk, but anywhere, has she ever spoken out against racism? Last time I may have ever seen Jada Pinkett Smith speak out against racism was when she was on A Different World as a character that they fed lines to. I never saw Jada speak out against police brutality. I never seen Jada, or Will for that matter, just be vocal about that, about police brutality, about criminal justice reform. And maybe they do things privately. But then, keeping in line with Kobe, you never once touched on the fact that Gayle King was wrong for trying to defame a dead man. Why is it? And I saw Jamel Hill, she was on the show and released a video. Alana Van Zandt, I believe, was on there and released video commending Snoop for apologizing. Oh, you need to apologize for this. But you didn't ask Gayle, or none of you women have ever said Gayle was in the wrong for what she did to Kobe and the disrespect and the harm it caused his family. He's not here to defend himself. And he died with eight other people, including his daughter. And the remarks that have been made by people in the media, the way that the press has handled it, the way that family members have even handled the situation with regards to Kobe's parents, just the way it has been handled is completely out of line. But I'm focusing on the media. It has been completely unprofessional, and it's been completely racist. It's been out of line. You had an MSNBC reporter use a racial epithet. You had these Negroes like Al Sharpton, and I don't know why who still watches his show, because I've never even watched Reverend Al's show when they put it on at night. I didn't watch it when it was even on at day. because he is not somebody I would follow. And he's up here talking about, we defend Gayle. Never once addressing how Gayle King and Oprah have treated black men when it comes to their television shows and their documentaries. When they want to talk about Me Too and Time's Up, they're out here doing videos on Russell Simmons, on Michael Jackson. You throw Bill Cosby under the bus. I'll never forget Oprah Winfrey having Mark Furman on her show, but refusing to have O.J. Simpson on her show unless he confessed. I think from what Boyce Watkins said, Gayle King actually said this, and I didn't hear her say this. Maybe I shouldn't say it because it is hearsay, but it wouldn't surprise me if she said that. She said she would not date a black man, unless they believe O.J. Simpson was guilty. I don't understand that. What's the fixation on O.J. Simpson? What's the fixation if you're dating someone and they're going to have a different opinion than you? Then, if you want everyone to think like you, then guess what? You ain't going to be married. You wouldn't be married that long. You wouldn't even be dating if you were coming to me like that. You're trying to tell somebody what to think. But then, in getting into the Red Table Talk, the Jamel Hill who gives a video commending Snoop for apologizing, and Snoop was like, "Oh, Jamel Hill, you got her, that's my girl." And he brought up, if you listen to the interview, I'm sorry, but Snoop, where's your mother been in the last 30 years that you've been doing rap and you've been calling black women bitches and hoes? I gotta say it again. Or the time you went to the VH1 Music Awards, or was it MTV Awards, and you had two women on chains in your hand? Did you feel compelled to apologize to them? We supported you. Ricky Smiley even supported what you did. Now, Ricky, Ricky, I don't think he agreed with the way that you said it, but he understood where it came from. And he also have called out Gayle King and said, where's her apology? He called out all of those Negroes that are so upset with you and the way you talk, but were not upset at what happened to Kobe Bryant, how he was treated. One thing I was taught as a child, one thing even my parents told me, and they didn't have to tell me, I learned that when someone dies, you don't speak ill of them at all, unless it's something that was totally true and proven. If you're dealing with a historical person, if we're talking about, for instance, Ronald Reagan and his policies as president, how it impacted our community, black people, then we can talk about that. But when you're bringing up unfounded allegations, you press on it. You ask the person who was closest to Kobe, they give you an answer, and yet you try to make it look again like this person doesn't know what they're talking about, and you got caught on it. And it wasn't just black people, it wasn't just Snoop Dogg that reacted the way to Gayle King. Snoop Dogg said what most people, black men and black women, because there were a lot of black women that didn't like what Gayle King did. It's not, let's just be real. They got black women right now that call Gayle King, that called Oprah Winfrey and Gayle King a bitch. It's not just men, but yet it became this false misconception. Well, I shouldn't say false. It became this misconception. It was false propaganda that they used to turn against each other. We had them going. If Snoop had stood up, and I know Snoop's got a TV show that's coming out with Martha Stewart, and I think Snoop was forced to apologize because both he and Gayle King work for the parent company, Viacom. Viacom, of course, owns CBS, MTV, VH1, Nickelodeon. I think Comedy Central is also under the Viacom umbrella. I don't know what other networks are, but I definitely know Viacom owns BT, VH1, and MTV. And if you always notice on MTV, or VH1 when the BET Awards comes on, it'll come on simultaneously on those different channels. And that's another thing. We don't own anything anymore. And I think had Snoop stood his ground, he would have done a little bit better. And yeah, he could have apologized for the way he reacted, but Gayle King never apologized for what she did to Kobe Bryant's family and Kobe Bryant himself. And essentially, what those who were defending her were saying and trying to make this look like this was about misogyny, the people that still call Kobe Bryant a racist, you all are the scum of the earth. I hope when you die, and I'm not wishing that on anyone, but somebody is going to speak ill of you. How is your family going to take it? I hope you all think about that. I hope that doesn't necessarily happen to you, but hey, karma comes to us all. I wanted to do this video. I was just talking about the Red Table Talk. I didn't like what I saw. When everyone was talking about it, and I know I'm late with it. There's some other videos, guys, that I have to do. I want to do. Of course, I want to talk about that. That will be for another day. But yeah, man. You guys, please subscribe to this channel. I'll let you know more details about the podcast. Please donate. That's another way that I can stay alive and keep moving forward. If you donate to my Cash App, GavinRichardEsq, you can also, it's GavinRichardEsq, as well as Google Pay, gavin.grich1@gmail.com. That's all in the description. But yeah, guys, to hell with the Red Table Talk. I didn't care for it. So this is why, and that's another reason another thing I noticed too, we don't have any black male talk show hosts anymore. I think since the Arsenio Hall show, since Montel Williams, we never had a black man have a talk show where we could have dialogue, nationally syndicated dialogue about stuff like this. And I think it's important to get different perspectives and not get tools like Al Sharpton and Morning Joe, all these little other MSNBC, CNN programs that don't do us any good. We need our own. So, guys, with that, I'll holler. You have a good day. Enjoy your Tuesday and the rest of the week. Peace.